Bradley Beal is giving the Washington Wizards a huge problem, as the no-trade clause on his contract is going to make it extremely difficult to find a new team for the shooting guard. So in today's video, we're going to break down what the betting markets have to say about this situation and who is the favorite to land Bradley Beal via trade. We're going to break it all down today on the Board channel. The Board HQ is the NBA content division of the Hammer Betting Network, where we go through current events, news topics concerning the NBA, as well as betting topics concerning the NBA. But for today, it's a little bit special because we have a little bit of both here, as there are some betting markets in relation to Bradley Beal's future. If you've not seen the recent news, the Washington Wizards are going to work with Bradley Beal on finding a trade partner to get him onto a new team. Bradley Beal is only just starting now his monster extension with the Washington Wizards. This season, he made $43 million, and in 4 years' time, 5 years into the contract, in 2026, 2027, he will be making $57 million. That's a lot of money for any player. That's a lot of money for Bradley Beal and what he did last season, where he produced 23 points per game on 50% shooting from the field, 36% shooting from three, along with 5 assists and 4 rebounds. Good numbers, but is that eventually $57 million worthy for a player who was already 29 years old? I'm not trying to disrespect Bradley Beal because he's a very good player. That's just a whole bunch of money. But the problem is not with the financial aspect of this. As the NBA salary cap continues to grow, we're going to certainly see players in these figures. And it won't be maybe that crazy when it gets to that point in 26, 27. However, the crazy thing about this contract is the Washington Wizards gave Bradley Beal, to sign this contract, a no-trade clause. They gave Bradley Beal a no-trade clause. Now, if you're not familiar with the NBA, you may not be familiar with the fact that no-trade clauses are extraordinarily rare. According to the NBA, 5,000 players have signed a contract in NBA history, and less than 0.01% of them have had a no-trade clause. Let me read to you the players in NBA history that have signed a no-trade clause. Not only do I want you to think about the names I'm going to read out here, I want you to think about the names that are not on this list, a caliber of players who have never received a no-trade clause. But here are the players who have received a no-trade clause: Dwayne Wade, John Stockton, David Robinson, Dirk Nowitzki, LeBron James, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, and Carmelo Anthony. I don't respect Carmelo. He was a bad man back in the day. And also one more name now, Bradley Beal. Again, I don't want to disrespect Bradley Beal because he's a very good player. Bradley Beal is not on the caliber of these guys. These are all bona fide Hall of Famers. Bradley Beal is not that. Lots of room to play. He's 29. He's got lots of room to continue playing. Bradley Beal is not that, okay? But they gave him a no-trade clause. And 1 year into this no-trade clause, I feel bad for the new president of the Washington Wizards, Michael Winger, who stepped into the team because the previous management was so abhorrently awful at their jobs. They were content being not even a playoff team. They were content missing the playoffs every year to keep Bradley Beal. Everybody knew they needed to rebuild. Everybody knew, but they still gave him this contract, and they gave him a no-trade clause. So now, with smarter management in place, they want to trade him and start fresh, start with a younger team, get the draft assets in return for Bradley Beal. Well, they can't look for the best offer possible because Bradley Beal can veto any of those trades. Can you feel my rage? It's not even a team I care about. I could care less about the Washington Wizards, but just deficiency and idiocy from front offices. It's just so mind-boggling and frustrating for me to just even watch from the surface. So as a result, Bradley Beal on the trade market. What do the betting markets have to say potentially about where he's going to be going next? Or rather, what does the betting market say? Because there's only one sportsbook offering up odds specifically for Bradley Beal at the moment that I could find, and that is the Draftkings Sportsbook. If at any point you feel like you see a bet you want to take on this, it's available at Draftkings. You can use the special link and affiliate code that we have here at the Board HQ. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can scan the QR code in the bottom left of the screen, or you can go to the link in the description where you can type in or click on the link, betstamp.app/theboard. If you don't want to do that, you can just type it in, betstamp.app/theboard, to get yourself the affiliate code to sign up to the DraftKings Sportsbook. It costs you nothing extra, but it does support the channel and give us a little bit of a kickback, whether you are a winning or a losing bettor. We get paid all the same. You can support the channel, though. Let's take a look at what DraftKings has to offer here on the Bradley Beal market. So as a result of this no trade clause, they're forced basically to list the Wizards as the favorite at plus 200. Now, I'm gonna say there is a absolutely massive hold that the book has on this market. These prices are not fair market prices, in my opinion. You may see something like, I wanted to look at the hierarchy here. I wanted to look at the most likely teams to trade for him and discuss it in today's video. But the Wizards are listed at plus 200 to just keep Bradley Beal. The Miami Heat are the favorites to trade for Bradley Beal at plus 300, and I fully support that. A little bit of one I wasn't considering before looking at this is the Sacramento Kings at plus 600, and we have the Sixers at plus 800, the Celtics at plus 900, the Bucks at plus 10,000 or plus 1,000, excuse me. But those are the key ones at the top of the list here. But it looks like every team has a price in this whole ordeal, which is interesting. I mean, the Detroit Pistons should really be a lot higher than 7,500 down at the bottom over there. But let's take a look at the top of the board here. So we spoke about Bradley Beal's contract. Who can afford to take that on? Who can afford to take on this ludicrous contract? Well, I'll tell you a team that can do it, the Miami Heat. Like I said, it wasn't surprised to see them there. They made the NBA Finals they just finished the NBA Finals. They were 3 wins away from an NBA championship. They want to maximize this era with Jimmy Butler 100%. And they have a very viable way of making that happen. Bradley Beal's going to be making like $45 million next season. The Miami Heat, have the draft picks to entice a deal. They have the players to match contracts, salary amounts, and it's a great destination for Bradley Beal, South Beach. Living in South Beach, first of all. Number 2, you're on a competitive basketball team. Jimmy Butler is your teammate. That's a great destination for Bradley Beal. Let's take a look at the contracts that the Miami Heat could offer up. First of all, the Miami Heat desperately need to get off this Kyle Lowry deal. That's salary fill that could come into the equation, and they could also offer up Tyler Hero in this deal as an enticing piece to make the Wizards want to do this. A young player the Wizards could help build, could start to build with. Not build around, but build with. Just bring in young players. You have them locked in for 4 more years. You get draft picks in the process. That makes a whole bunch of sense. That makes a whole bunch of sense from my perspective for the Wizards to consider this. And I think they're lucky that there is a destination that almost is like as seamless of a fit as this, that Bradley Beal would certainly be interested in playing with, because the no trade clause, once again, mind-bogglingly, is in play on this one. But other teams, I wasn't expecting the Sacramento Kings to be able to make a deal here. And the contract situations all over the league can be complicated, but Harrison Barnes is coming off the books for the Kings. They could move on from Kevin Huerter and Rashawn Holmes and add in a whole bunch of draft capital and bring in Bradley Beal. I think he'd fit very well next to De'Aaron Fox. I think he'd fit very well next to Domantas Sabonis as well. I think this makes a ton of sense for the Sacramento Kings to make a big splash. I know this era of the Sacramento Kings is just starting up, but hey, this is a great opportunity to really land your imprint on the NBA, land your imprint here and let teams know that you are for real. You want to make this happen. And other teams involved, we saw the Philadelphia 76ers up there on the list. James Harden could opt to leave in free agency and go to the Houston Rockets. That opens up a whole bunch of money along the way. I mean, Tobias Harris, could they actually get off that contract in its final year? For the Wizards' perspective, trading Tobias Harris, trading a bunch of picks, maybe trading a young player as well to get Beal. From the Wizards' perspective, you're getting picks, a young player, and that salary after 1 year comes off the books. At least Tobias Harris is a decent player that can help keep you competitive. Tobias Harris on $39 million is a joke. But at least at the end of the season, you open up all that cap space. That could be certainly intriguing for the Wizards as well. And finally, the Milwaukee Bucks seem to be interested. Giannis is making, looking at it here, $45 million. Middleton's making $40 million if he does take his player option, which I actually wasn't aware he had a player option. I imagine he'll take $40 million. and Drew Holiday is making $36 million this year. Yeah, I'm not sure I see a viable way this could go down for the Bucks, but hey, they want to have some interest. They want to throw their name in the hat a little bit. They can go ahead. So the Bradley Beal situation is a bit of a disaster for the Wizards, but an opportunity to take advantage from a betting market standpoint. Looking at them over again here, I mean, there's just too much of a hold here. Like, it really is just price for fun because they know there's going to be people to bet on this. Look, if you want to bet on it, go ahead. I don't think there's any number worth taking here. Like, there's just no clear path. I mean, if anything, like the Knicks are certainly an interesting one, as are the Brooklyn Nets. I just don't think the prices are high enough there. I'm not sure they're going to go all out to make those trades happen. So I'd say, like, if this was priced correctly, the Knicks and Nets should be probably a bit higher on this list, but maybe not quite the prices worth taking over here. But of course, that is subject to opinion. Is there any bet that you like here? If there is, go to our QR code or the link in the description, betsim.app/theboard to sign up to the Draftkings Sportsbook to make a wager over here. But if you don't have Draftkings anyway, Draftkings is an amazing sportsbook to have. They consistently have great odds on the NBA. Here at the Board YouTube channel, we use Draftkings so consistently for our SGPs on the pick and roll live stream. So if you're not signed up to the Draftkings Sportsbook, make sure you go ahead and do that, regardless if you want to take advantage of this opportunity or not, because I guarantee you there's going to be other opportunities throughout the summer. We're going to be looking at some good bets available on the DraftKings Sportsbook. So get involved. And if you did enjoy the show today, the episode today, drop a like, consider subscribing for more content like this, and we'll see you next time very, very soon for some more content here on the Board HQ, part of the Hammer Betting Network.